Hi! I know it's been a really long time since I've made a video. My mental health has just been, probably the worst it's been ever, so I haven't really... I've filmed some stuff, but every time I sit down to edit it, I just hate everything. And I filmed a really nice video, like a whole recipe that I've been wanting to share with everyone. I filmed it maybe a month ago and I've edited most of it and I just haven't got it finished. So hopefully I'll get that up sometime soon. And I have some other plans that, again, I just haven't had like the mental capacity to get anything done, which is fine. Like, it's okay if you need to take a break, so I'm trying not to beat myself up about it. So we've put the dogs in doggy daycare. We've been doing that about one day a week for the past 3 weeks or so, and it was mostly because we're planning to take a trip sometime and we wanted to get the dogs used to being away from us. And also, like, with my boyfriend working at home and me sadly still being unemployed, it was kind of, as much as we love our dogs, it was just nice to have a bit of a break from everyone being in the house all the time. So I think even after our trip, we're probably gonna just keep putting the dogs in the daycare for just one day a week. It's really good for their socialization, especially since we got Cassie right when the pandemic started. She really hasn't been very socialized, and even Leo, he's not overly socialized either. So yeah, the dogs are away, it's just me and Prab. Prab is upstairs working, I'm in the garage, and I'm about to do a barbecue. The weather is not great, but I bought some ribs the other day and they're absolutely massive and they're probably not going to fit in the oven, so I'm going to try and grill them. I need to go and clean the grill. We probably haven't used it since last summer, and I don't think we cleaned it after we used it, so it's probably looking pretty grim. So that's my plans for the day. Let's go! So we have 2 barbecues and both of them are in terrible condition. We got them both from Facebook Marketplace. We had this one first, but the handle on the top here broke, and then the handle on the side here broke, and it doesn't have anything on the bottom to catch the ashes, so we have a bucket which is made of plastic, which probably isn't great. And then we got this other one. I think we might have got this one for free or like very cheap. And then we got this other one, which I think we paid $30, which it's definitely not worth $30. Like, it was covered in crap. But it's a much better grill. But yeah, it's not in good condition. So I'm gonna go and clean this and then we'll figure out where we are. So I have some supplies for cleaning. The main thing I have is a wire bristled brush, but after opening it and looking closely, it's growing some friends. So I think I'm probably gonna use, I don't know, maybe use a lighter to burn the mold away. I don't know if that will work, but I'm gonna try it. And I've got some washing up liquid and got the wire bristle brush and I've got some kitchen paper. And I'm gonna try and clean as much of it as I can without having to take it into the kitchen, because I think it's just like gross. I'll probably just report back when I'm done. Okay, I actually feel like a hot and sweaty mess right now, but that's okay. It's pretty humid here. I have no idea what the temperature is because I'll look at centigrade and then I'll look at Fahrenheit and it just crosses over in my mind, but pretty humid, even though it's super like overcast and grey. Like it's definitely gonna shit it down with rain probably halfway through the barbecue later. So while I've been cleaning out the barbecue, I've also been composting, which I was gonna make a whole video about composting, but I don't know, probably won't have the energy to do that, so I can just talk about it here, I guess. So in our kitchen, I keep a small, well, somewhat large Tupperware box in our fridge, and this Tupperware box houses all food waste. So, you know, fruit peels, vegetable peels, uneaten food, eggshells. I try not to put dairy in there or meat, but sometimes a little bit slips in, and I think that's okay. And then when that gets full, so about twice a week probably, depending on what we've been eating, I bring it out to the garden. And I have a compost here. So it's just in a black bin. We used to use this to collect leaves. So somewhat composting already. It's actually got a major insect infestation right now, but I'll show what it looks like. So all of the flies come out. And it's got like a bunch of leaves in there and just like food waste, things that have gone off or things that obviously we don't eat. But yeah, so it's pretty full right now. I think it's literally starting to rain, so I probably will not carry on with compost for now. But since the dogs are not here, I was going to empty the compost, and I empty it down in the bottom of the garden because it goes down a hill at the back. I have emptied it there a couple of times, but usually the dogs go crazy and try to eat the food that's in there. And last time I didn't put enough browns into the compost, so that's like leaves and cardboard, and it just stank. It literally smelled like poo, and I could smell it for like 5 days, and the dogs were eating it and they just smelled of poo, which was pretty horrible. So this time I've got lots of leaves in there, which kind of neutralizes the smell for one thing, but also something to do with the, like, you know, biology of a compost. I don't really have a use for a compost right now because our garden is just like a shithole. But the idea was that I was going to make compost and then make some flower beds or something, but the compost is a lot slower than I thought it was going to be. But just the fact that I'm, you know, putting less stuff into landfill makes me feel good. So even if I don't use it for composting purposes, just the fact that it's good for the earth. Like I went and spanned some of the compost that's down at the bottom of the garden a minute ago, and there's like worms and ants and stuff, and like that's all good things. Like I don't like touching them. I mean, worms are okay, but I don't like touching stuff, but I'm happy that they're in my garden. I just keep one area for compost, and then the rest of it is like the dog's free reign, pretty much. Ugh, someone just started a lawnmower. So there was a lawnmower in there that was getting super loud, and I don't know how much of it would come onto the sound here. For the barbecue, I cleaned down the grill, is that what it's called? I guess. One of them, so there's two, which is good because that helps for how I need to cook the ribs later. One of them was kind of like rusty, so I know that's not really good for food. So I'm gonna figure out what to do with that, whether to cover it in foil or just try to put the food on the other side. We'll see. I have a thing in my head that putting olive oil or something on it would work, but I think I'm thinking of like a cast iron skillet. Anyway, so one of them's kind of rusty, but I'm gonna go and wash it. I'll wash them in the kitchen sink properly anyway. And the other one looks like it's gonna be okay. I got like all of the like lumps of gross stuff off of it, so I can definitely put some food onto that side. I am literally just cooking ribs, and then I'm gonna make some vegetables and stuff in the kitchen for dinner. And the rib pack I got is absolutely massive. Like it's like, I swear, like a meter long or something. No, it's not really, but my boyfriend had asked me to get some ribs, and I shop in Aldi, which doesn't have, you know, the greatest selection, and I know nothing about meat. I was a vegetarian for 2 years and I don't enjoy the idea of eating meat that much, but I do it because it's just easier right now. So he asked me if I could buy some ribs, and usually Aldi just do these tiny like baby back ribs, and they're super small, and I bought them one time before and he complained that they were so small. And so when I got there, they had these other ribs that were massive, and I thought they were easily going to be like $30 or something. It was humongous. And I looked at the price of the baby back ribs, and the baby back ribs were $13 or $12. And these massive, I don't know what type of ribs they are, spare ribs maybe, just some kind of rib. These massive other ribs were only $16, and it was literally 3 times the amount. And the meat on it looked like it was way more meaty. So I just got them without really thinking of how we were going to cook them. But he suggested maybe cutting them in half and doing half on the grill and half in the oven, for 2 reasons. Because one, I don't think they're going to fit in the oven or the grill on their own. They probably would fit in the oven, but we don't have a tray that's big enough. And also just having 2 different cooking styles, because it's going to be a lot of food and it's literally just the 2 of us at home, obviously. And, you know, we're going to have to eat all of it ourselves. So we talked about doing half on the barbecue and half in the oven, and then just like eating it over the period of probably like a week. So that's what we're trying to do. That's why I'm doing the barbecue right now. My hair is up because I went and seasoned the ribs and they look incredible. I did 2 different types of seasoning because we're going to do half of the ribs in the barbecue and half in the oven. So I just sort of play around with the seasoning a little bit. I don't really like getting hands-on with raw meat, but I got like really stuck in that, and it was actually kind of fun to make that. So the barbecue is totally prepped, and I'm about to start putting the charcoal in there and turning it on, and it should take like 6 hours to do this. I've never done a barbecue for so long. It's currently like 1 o'clock and it's really, really warm today. So I don't think it's gonna rain anymore. Like, the skies have opened up, but it's just a bit hot and humid, and yeah. So while the barbecue is heating up, I'm gonna go and take the compost down to the end of the garden, and I'm gonna try and cover it. I've got a spade. I'm gonna try and cover it with as much stuff as I can, so when the dogs get home later, they're not gonna wanna go and eat everything. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we started up over there, the barbecue, and my house is up there. Came all the way down my horrible garden, and this is the empty recycling container. It's hard to get clean, and honestly the smell is vile. So this pile here, I had that pallet on this side. That was the last time I recycled, and that was probably like maybe 2 months ago. It was a while ago. So I just emptied the carton underneath where that pallet is now. So I put the pallets on there to try to stop the dogs from going anywhere near them. The smell is bad, but it was worse last time, so I'm hoping it might be okay. And I tried to bury, so all of the stuff that was at the bottom of the container was obviously at the top when I pulled it out, and that was like wet and like rotten food and stuff. And so I tried to bury that under like dry leaves and everything, but when I flipped it over, there was like a humongous ant's nest inside, and it looked like a spider's web because it was all like, I guess they're babies with like the white eggs and stuff. But I mean, they'll thrive, I just don't want to touch them. But yeah, so I'm hoping, I don't know, it looks kind of good. Hope it's okay, the dogs don't go crazy for it. And I guess if it rains soon, that might help wash the smell away a little bit. I'm gonna go check on the barbecue now. So I put the meat on about 2 hours ago, and I came to check it out, and I said it looks like it's gonna rain, and now so after about 10 minutes it has mostly stopped raining. So I'm just gonna go check on the barbecue. It's a bit low in the temperature. Let's see. Doing any good.